Hey guys, we are on day 83 of the Bible reading plan, and we are reading chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the book of Numbers today, and these 4 chapters cover so much. Chapter 5 is going to open up with this act of obedience. Israel is going to undergo circumcision. It is a sign of obedience that they are going to follow and commit wholeheartedly to following all that the Lord has commanded them to do as they're going into this new land. And the Lord responds by stopping the manna because he is going to fulfill his promise to Israel. He's going to provide food and all that they need in the promised land as they go into it. And then chapter 5 is going to end with this encounter that Joshua has with the commander of the Lord's army. And when Joshua meets him, he asks him, "Are you for us or are you against us?" And the Lord's commander is going to answer him, "Neither." And we're supposed to get this sense as we go into these next few chapters and we read about these battles that God is going to win the battle. It is the Lord's battle. It is his fight. His army is fighting the battle. Israel needs to be faithful. And so the question will be, will Israel be faithful and follow the Lord and do all of the things that he's commanded? Or will they go their own way? Will they wander? Will they miss the mark? And so we jump into the Battle of Jericho in chapter 6. And God gives them these crazy instructions. They probably don't make any sense, but Israel is faithful to be obedient and respond and do it the way God has said. And God does it. God brings down the walls of Jericho. God wins the battle, and Israel only had to be faithful. And then we read that Israel is also faithful to their promise to Rahab, that she lives among them to that very day that the account was written down. And so we see this theme of faithfulness. And then we get into chapter 7 and we read about the battle of the town of Ai, and we read about Israel's unfaithfulness. And God does not do it. He does not win the battle. Israel does not win the battle because Achan has taken devoted things instead of destroying them as God commanded his people for whatever reason. It doesn't say why. We don't know if he was in need, if he was envious, if he was greedy, if he saw these things and thought, oh, that's what I deserve. We have no idea why he took them. We do know that he didn't take very much. And the judgment that comes over the nation of Israel is that the Lord will not go before them if they do not take care of this sin in their community. And so Israel does. They investigate the sin. Joshua talks to Achan. He confesses what he's done. And the Lord's judgment comes on him and his household. And then the Lord does root the town of Ai. He does go before Israel, and in chapter 8 we see that the Lord delivers the town into Israel's hand, and at the end of the chapter Israel renews their covenant to the Lord. And so there's this sense as we're reading through this, there's this underlying theme of obedience and willingness to follow the Lord. And the fact that Rahab is mentioned in the Battle of Jericho, that Israel honors their promise to her, that little reminder of her faith in contrast to the faith of Achan really stood out to me as I was reading today. Just this idea that Rahab was a woman, an alien among them, and she was willing to risk her life, to put everything on the line because of the proclamation she makes in chapter 2 of Numbers, which is that she knows that their God, the Lord, their God, is the Lord in heaven above and on earth here below. And so she knows that God is mighty, powerful, and he is going to give Jericho into their hands, and she is going to follow that God. And she is going to commit to him and be obedient to him. And just the contrast of her faith to Achan's faith, someone who grew up among the Israelites, who knew the ways of the Lord, who knew the commands, who knew the requirements, and for whatever reason got so far off track that he was unwilling to obey the Lord, even as the Lord was giving them the victory. And I'm encouraged by Rahab's faith. It reminds me of the faith of someone who newly comes to faith, a new believer, someone who's just become a Christian, and how that boldness and that excitement sort of propels them into obedience. Their love of God, their desire for God and his ways causes them to just do whatever God is asking. And I'm just encouraged by that faith today. It's a reminder to me, as I'm a little farther along in my faith, to come back to those first things, those first declarations of faith and promise and hope that we have. And it makes me ask the question, in what ways do I need to be obedient today? In what ways do I need to commit in boldness, in confidence, with excitement to following the Lord and to being obedient to what He's calling me to do? I hope that encourages you. I hope you guys have a great day. Can't wait to hear your comments on the Bible app. And keep it up, guys. We're on day 83, almost to day 100. So here we go. Have a great day, everybody.